Apple was long considered the absolute leader of the technology world. It set trends and defined the future of the industry. But in recent years, something happened that once seemed impossible. Apple began to fall behind in the most important race of our time, the race for artificial intelligence. While Google, Nvidia, and many Chinese and Korean companies were making massive breakthroughs, Apple moved too cautiously. The company focused on improving its devices, but missed the main shift, the transition to intelligent systems. Today, the tech world has changed. It is no longer just hardware that matters, but the intelligence inside the device. And this is exactly where Apple found itself in a catching-up role. Users began to notice this, especially when it comes to Siri. The voice assistant that was once revolutionary now looks outdated. It struggles to understand complex requests, cannot hold a conversation, and cannot compete with modern AI systems. But this is where things get interesting. According to insiders, Apple has already realized its main mistake. The company is preparing a major shift toward artificial intelligence. And this is not just about updating Siri. It is about completely rethinking what AI should be within the Apple ecosystem. The main focus is a new version of Siri, but this will no longer be the assistant we know. Apple wants to create the most advanced personal AI in the world, one that understands the user better than anyone else, continuously learns and adapts, and becomes part of a person's life. However, the plans do not stop there. According to rumors, Apple is working on a device that could change everything. This is not just a gadget, it is a new form of interaction with artificial intelligence, a device capable of projecting a realistic digital human directly into real space. Imagine this. You come home, activate the device, and a person appears in front of you. Not just a hologram, but a full-fledged AI avatar. It looks at you, speaks with you, reacts to emotions, and behaves like a real conversational partner. This avatar could be customized. Appearance, voice, behavior, everything tailored to the user. Some will want a smart assistant, others a friend, and some a full-fledged companion. And this is where the most controversial part of this technology begins. Because such an AI could replace real human interaction. It could become a friend, a psychologist, a partner. For millions of people, this could be a form of relief, especially for those who feel lonely. Such an AI would always be there. It would not get tired, would not betray, would not leave. But at the same time, it raises a huge number of questions. What will happen to real relationships? How will society change? Will this lead to even greater isolation? Apple understands these risks, but the company is betting on the future because the AI market is becoming the main battlefield. And if Apple does not return to the game now, it could lose its leadership forever. The problem is that time has already been lost. Competitors have moved ahead. Google is actively developing its AI systems. Nvidia controls the AI chip market. Chinese companies are building their own ecosystems and scaling rapidly. Apple has to catch up and do so as quickly as possible. That is why the company is preparing not just an update, but a real leap, a sharp transition from a lagging player to a leader. If this project is truly realized, it could change everything. It could mark a new era of technology, an era where AI becomes not just a tool, but a full part of human life. But the main question remains, will Apple make it in time? Will it be able to catch up and surpass its competitors? Or has the market already been divided and the opportunity lost forever? In the coming years, we will see the answer. But even now, one thing is clear. Apple is preparing something truly big. And if it succeeds, it could become the biggest revolution since the introduction of the iPhone. And perhaps this very project will once again make Apple the king of the tech world, or finally show that even giants can lose the race for the future. But if you look deeper, it becomes clear that Apple is betting not just on technology, but on emotions. The company has always won precisely because of this. It was not the first to create products, but it made them in such a way that people fell in love with them. And now it is trying to repeat this approach with artificial intelligence, to make it not just smart, but close to humans. That is why the key idea of the new project is personalization. This AI will know you, understand your habits, remember your reactions. Over time, it will become a reflection of your character. And this is an entirely different level of interaction. This is not just an assistant, it is a digital personality. Imagine that this avatar knows when you are tired, knows when you need motivation, can hold a conversation, can help you make decisions, and can even predict your behavior. And this opens up a huge market, because such a product is not just a gadget, it is a new category, like when the iPhone appeared, like when social networks emerged. If Apple manages to create a truly convincing digital human, it could become the most widely adopted AI product in history. Millions of people will want to try it. Millions will want to have such a companion. But here another important factor appears: privacy. Apple has always emphasized this, and in the case of such an AI, it will be critically important because the device will know literally everything about the user. And if Apple can ensure data security, it will become a huge advantage over competitors, especially compared to companies that actively collect and use user data. But even despite all these advantages, the risk remains enormous, because creating a realistic AI is one challenge, and turning it into a mass product is a completely different one. It is not just about technology, it requires usability. It must work perfectly, without bugs, without delays, without the feeling that you are talking to a machine. And this is where the fate of this project will be decided, because users will not forgive mistakes, especially if expectations are high. In the end, we are standing at the threshold of a very interesting moment. Either Apple will make one of the most remarkable comebacks in the history of technology, or it will finally establish itself in the role of a follower. And everything will be decided in the next few years, because the AI race waits for no one. And perhaps the main meaning of this story is not even about Apple itself, but about what the entire technological world is becoming. In the past, companies competed in processor power, cameras, and design. Now a new era is beginning, where what matters most is not the device itself, but how deeply technology can integrate into human life. That is why the coming years may become decisive not only for Apple, but for the entire industry. The winner will not be the one who simply presents the most impressive AI, but the one who can make it truly useful, natural, and safe for millions of people. And if Apple manages to turn artificial intelligence into the same clear and mass product that the iPhone once became, the company could truly regain its role as the main innovator of the market. Other companies will be forced to adapt, copy, and catch up, as has already happened before. And that means the outcome of this race will determine not only the leader, but also the rules of the game for decades to come. But if this step turns out to be too late or not convincing enough, the tech world will move forward without it. And then this moment will go down in history as Apple's last attempt to reclaim its future. That is why what is at stake now is much more than just a new product. What is at stake is Apple's place in the next technological era.